In today's video, I'll be interviewing my boy Dash, who's produced for Offset. We talk about mindset, how he got his placement with Offset, and a lot more advice that you could apply to your own career. Let's get right into the interview. First question, backstory of Dash, what got you into music, who were your inspirations?
Well, I started music, I honestly can't remember, either 2021 or 2022, somewhere around that period. I used to play a lot of sports beforehand. Like I played very high level rugby and stuff, and then I had to stop from injuries. So I was doing 7 days a week training, and then I kind of dropped all my time gone. So I dropped out of high school in year 10 and did nothing for a month. And then I think I just by luck just found FL Studio and then found Type Beats. I'm like, oh, it's kind of interesting. Down at FL Studio, because I was one of those online rat children. And just the first beat I made, oh my God, yeah, this is what I want to do. I'd never had that before, which was pretty crazy. Making music was just basically going into FL and just kind of from the start, I didn't do the type beats or the type loops. I mean, to start, I was just following Tri-Freeze and J Cactus tutorials to a T. So I'd say in effect, a little bit of inspiration, but from the start, really, it was Q beats and no one else. But they weren't the main influence. It was definitely I looked at them and yeah, that's who I want to be, or the level you want to get to, because that was during their prime run just after COVID, and everyone wanted to be Q beats. So it was just really them, because I started off on samples. I never really paid too much attention to drums, because I figured it's a lot easier to get your start in the industry, especially back then, with the sample and the loop game, because that was almost just before its prime. So I timed it. I got pretty lucky in the timing. But yeah, other than Q beats, I just myself and just trying to develop who I am. That's my kind of outlook on music, is inspiration from a lot of the people around me, especially. But I always try and, at the end of the day, I want to be focusing on me, not other people. To add on to that, probably Matt, Keon, and Juco, Key Major, definitely, Viper, Troy, just kind of the people around me. Astro's drums makes me feel like I got to catch up. He's always keeping me on my toes. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people, but kind of nobody at the same time.
Next question, how did the song with Offset come about, Professional?
All right, so I found out I was in Switzerland in January last year, so about a year ago, or a year and a bit ago now. And I was skiing with my cousin, and we just finished up this ski trip, and Mac texted me. He's like, oh, we got one with Offset, just put this one to the side. So it's all right, cool. I get a lot of those, so I really take it with a grain of salt until I hear it myself, whether it be snippet or a pocket audio recording or something. I just kind of, mental check it off, but not pay much attention. I carried on with the rest of the day. I got back to Basel, where I was staying with my family in Switzerland. So fucking sick there. And I woke up, I had a day before I was meant to go to Amsterdam of just getting all my affairs in order so I could continue traveling. And I'm like, oh, we'll see if he's posted anything on his story. I'm sitting on the toilet watching Breaking Bad, and I'm just flicking through his story, and it was just right there. It was my beat in front of on an Offset story, and it was just, you kind of always dream of that moment. I didn't really get an opportunity to kind of run around and have that moment, because you're I'm sitting on the toilet, but it's just the feeling you get when I felt it was just so much weight off my shoulders knowing I finally just got that foot in the door. All I wanted from the start was the foot in the door. But how it came about was I made the sample in July of 2024. So almost 2 years ago now. And it was just I don't know, I think we're playing fucking a disc or something. I don't know. We're doing something. And Mac's like, oh, just send some samples. You just send some through. And I remember that one sample, the Professional sample, I could hear him listening to it on his headphones, throughout the day. And it's bro, what the fuck are you listening to the sample for over and over again? He knew I didn't. And then, yeah, man, #1 single on Rap Caviar. So it's always one of them ones you just don't expect. It was really, that loop took me half an hour, 45 minutes, but I dead ass made I think 8 or 9 samples that day. I can go back and find the Finder screenshot. It was just one of the regular ones, really. And it's you ask anyone who's got the big hits, and it's that's all it ends up being. You got the crazy samples, you think, oh yeah, nah, man, I spent 2 hours on this. It's got 4 different sections. Sectioning's always really good, but it's always the loops you don't think about. You just chuck them together. Yeah, that's good enough. And then, that's the thing. You just never know. That's the good part about the industry.
So how did your life change after the song?
How my life has changed since? Just everything for the better. But I wouldn't say materially. Like, I mean, the producing side obviously is improved. You know, it's your foot in the door. Like I said, it came out and it was on top of Rap Caviar over a Drake and a Travis Scott song. So that seeing that with my own eyes was like, okay, if I can do that, there's nothing I can't do now. Honestly, like there's the confidence it gives you knowing that you've been able to do that is, I can't really explain it. And that kind of, that oozes into you as a person, as my confidence going around the world is like, if I can get a single with Offset and it can do that well and it sounds that good, you know, and I got these producers that I started and watched their YouTube and listened to their samples going, like one day, like I wish I could be at that level. And now like I'm friends with, like it's so crazy. It gives people the world is a bit shallow, unfortunately, but people, you know, they see the big song and they'll go, oh yeah, you know what, I'll work with you. Unfortunately, you know, I'd like the world to work in a different way, but you got to play the game, and effectively it helps a massive amount. So yeah, music wise, it's opened a fuck ton of doors. It's given me access to the opportunities I've kind of always knew I've been good enough to do and have beats for, and you know, managing projects, working with artists, calling shots on stuff. It's opened the door to let me kind of display more of what I'm able to do. And even still today, like I feel there's so much more I can do, but I just don't have the opportunities for it yet. That's some problems I see with a lot of people is they, you know, I remember a couple of years ago, like the beats I was making is like, yeah, this is good enough for the big artists, but I can't get there yet. And it's a bit of frustration that people feel. And instead of being frustrated, you got to play the game. You plain and simple, you might be good enough at music, but I mean, let's be real here. If you think back to school, you think how many nerds played like fucking musical instruments, and out in the world, a lot of people make music. So you've got to be able to maneuver the business side of it. And having that instilled into me before the song came means I was ready to like handle the whitewash of people that came afterwards. And especially like the song dropped, I was ready for 3.5 weeks holidaying in Spain at hostels and just doing whatever I wanted. And I canceled that after an hour of seeing the song, booked a flight back to London the next morning, and I was back in London by 8 a.m, like maybe 10 hours after the song, or I found out about it, got like 3 hours sleep, got off the plane, dropped my bags off to where I was staying. So I got family in London, so I'm really lucky. And I was at a session by 10:30 a.m. with Trins and D38. That ended up dropping. It was a good song, but the whole time I knew as soon as I have this opportunity and the door opens, got to take advantage of it. And so afterwards, it was a lot of people were hitting me up, Americans who I could, you know, start getting the samples and beats and ideas to and start developing the online relationships. But being able to literally position myself in the city of London, where I already knew a lot of people and had a lot of network to be able to work off of. But, you know, your name's popping. Like you literally got some clout at that point, which, you know, I despise. It's not what I do it for whatsoever, but you got to take advantage of the situations. And I was in London for 12 days and I did 23 sessions. Like I was doing 2-3 sessions every day. Finish up a session, it's like, oh, it's only 10 p.m. Catch the train over to somewhere else where someone's got a session they post on their story. And it was at that point where like I'm shooting shots, everything's going in. Like people posting their stories, oh, I'm like half an hour away, can I pull up? It's like, oh yeah, he's Dorco, rah, rah. And you just pull up. Sometimes there's artists there, sometimes it's just you're just cooking up. Like, you know, good 30% of the sessions were just fucking around. Like there were a couple with Big Louis Oblin, the GOAT, where he's just always like, oh yeah, we're at the studio tonight, come through, make a couple of beats, pissed around. Met Fly Dutch guys there as well. So you meet some really cool people who you end up then crossing paths with, you know, in time. But yeah, afterwards there's not really much to say, but if you've been through it, you know what I mean when I say doors just open. Like the frustration you get of not having the song or the thing to open the door beforehand, I know well and true, but it's just as if like you just get a key and the door's open. You still have to show up and be ready for these opportunities and have beats that are going to be better than the big producers that you're competing with. Like that's just to get into the arena. You still got to fight for it. But that's the thing. It's some people aren't ready when it gets to that. Some people are ready.
What are some misconceptions people have about getting placements?
A lot. I see it so much. I had it when I started, so it's all good. It's all a learning process. Kind of just sending stuff and praying. The one thing I'd recommend the most is understanding the process of how a song starts, like understand how it's made, like the process of who it goes through at the studio, knowing that most times you have the engineer who's there, you've got the artist, the producer's there, sometimes it isn't. You got to get the beats to them somehow. So a lot of people completely skip over the fact of sending beats to engineers. Trust me, all the engineers I know are always looking for beats. So that's an untapped lane. There's your clickbait title. This one trick all producers need to know. Having connections with the artist directly or doing the loops. I mean, when you look at it as a whole of how many ways in, if you're just trying to send loops, you're praying someone else has to make a beat on it, and that beat has to get to the artist has to like it, then it's a song. Versus if you're working with the artists, you might be just a sample maker, but the artist might know somebody who does drums. That's, you're skipping the line. There's different levels to how the songs are made, and the lower you are at the bottom, like I guess sending ideas or starters, is the harder and less likely it is. Versus if you're an artist, personal producer, you're just giving beats straight to them in text message. Like a good example is Professionals. It wasn't, there was luck involved, but it was a working relationship with me and Mac. Because I mean, over anything, that's just one of my best friends, I reckon. Like we just get along so well, and it's just send a couple samples. The universe was like, you know what? Yeah, you guys are doing a good job. And Bodie killed the drums. Evergreen got it to Offset. I happen to know some people in the session at the same time, like watching it, like, oh, I didn't know that was yours. So like I know I went in and I wanted to find out as much about how the process of the song was, so then I can relate that for doing it, following that in the future. And yeah, like I was at the bottom of the line, but if your samples are good enough, people will use them and they'll end up as songs. So if you're going to send stuff and pray, make sure you're good. Because if you're just making Portal shit and E-loops like everybody else, your chances of sending it and praying, because it's still a viable option, are going to be a lot lower. Versus building actual relationships with people who are in the rooms or even not. Like it pisses me off when people just send me messages going like, oh, let me get your loop email, when they obviously found me off of like the Genius method or something. Versus the people who I'm getting songs with, like my friends who I talk with and spend a lot of time with and like, quite value in my life. And it's building important relationships with me traveling around the world and wanting to see places. It's like, hey, if you're in the same country as so-and-so and it's not someone you just email loops to, you text back and forth and you work on stuff together and actually have a relationship with. You go over and see him, you got a studio session. It's how you make stuff happen, but you do it with good intention. Like I don't look at these people that I work with and go, oh, on a spreadsheet, this guy might get me a song with Future or rah, rah, rah. It's like, oh, so-and-so, that's my boy. That's what I think is a lot, I guess, if you're looking at it from a point of hunting songs, easier or a better way. But songs just, I don't know, unless you can absolutely control every part of it, like you're an executive producer on an album, yeah, I guess you can do it like that. But I guess you just got to do things with goodwill, really. Because I mean, if we're talking about people who haven't got their first song, because I mean, yeah, if people got more than one song, this isn't news to them. But for people who don't, is just stop seeing people as an Instagram account and start seeing people for who they are. Because there's so much you don't know about seeing stuff on social media. People prioritize social media too much. Is that there are people and musicians I know in Sydney and around the world who have no social media presence whatsoever. But this guy's motion is incredible. These guys move well and they don't need social media to succeed. So that also applies in with trying to get out into the real world and see people in person. But I guess, yeah, just understanding the song process. And yeah, I guess it's more of a learning experience. You kind of just I could tell you exactly what to do and what not to do. But if you're not learning it yourself, that information kind of goes in one ear and out the other. If you don't have a lesson to apply the information to, there's not much you can kind of take from it, even if you like fully take it in.
So what is your creative process like? How many samples do you make a week, and what types of plugins do you like to use usually?
Creative process. I make not too much, maybe 20 samples, 20 beats a week. Maybe another 10 miscellaneous FLPs somewhere in there. I don't, unless I'm making beats specifically or samples specifically for artists, or someone's like, oh yeah, well we doing this, I need it done by tonight. You obviously go in with the intention of making that type of thing. I just open FL exactly how I would the first time I opened FL with no knowledge, and just make shit. Like I'll find some cool synth shit, play some arps or whatever, chuck some delay, pitch shift it, drag it around off grid as well, and you move shit around, and then you hear something cool that catches your ear, and then you kind of build off that. Even if you have these like ridiculous starters which kind of have not a lot of harmonious value, you can still make things work with some good chords behind them. Yeah, my music theory has improved quite a bit. I remember a while ago I said you didn't need it. That was stupid. You don't need to learn a lot about it. Just like major, minor chords, augmented, and whatever the other one is, and just knowing, like, you know, just doing repetitive. If you do a minor chord and you go up two, you do a major, and then you can just relate that to building chords. It's I don't know shit about music theory, but I can still bust out some pretty sick orchestral pieces. So yeah, I kind of go into FL just, if I want to make something dark, or I'll make something dark. Like genre-wise, yeah, I can be a little bit influenced, but whatever I make. So oftentimes I'll make stuff that, you know, if someone's like, all right, we're doing a pack for so-and-so, you do a pack for so-and-so. Or using starters and ideas. If someone sends me something cool, hop on that, finish it up. Samples, plugins at the moment, Luma's probably the best. Luma is so cracked. Like that's I can't say anything good about that. That's probably like the hot pick, but all time is Contact, and one band called Arcus, Arkhis. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're an idiot. It's not like I've hit about it. I've said it so many times. It's so good, and people just refuse to get it. So that's fine. Analog Lab, multi keys and shit. Anything Keyon or Mac or anything by those guys. P Major 2, Viper. Sampletron and Sample Tank at the moment, like the Mellotron stuff, but I like Sampletron a lot. Mtron Pro. Mellotron stuff is really good for if I'm going to make something and I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to make some stuff that is going to catch on. Like I can make samples where it's like, yeah, this is never going to get placed, never going to get drums on it, but I had a blast making it. Or, you know, okay, I'll make a hit sample, because like sometimes I can just, if I'm feeling it, it's never like I can't bring it on, but it's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna make a hit here. Yeah, it just happens. Most of the time it's using like Mellotron sounds. Like the Mellotron's been around and been used for like what, 50 years or something ridiculous, almost like 40. It's just the sounds are that good. You just like add a couple Mellotron layers on top of each other, you know, do some vary speed and some halftime and move it around, and like it always sounds sick. I'm not a musical genius. I just know how to make shit sound cool. And if you have it with some rhythm to it, sometimes you get some big songs.
If you guys want to see the full uncut interview, you could view it for free down below. Link in description. Now let's get right back into the video. How do you network? How often do you send out? And how do you like to connect with other producers?
Never. Like I genuinely, I have stopped sending DMs to people saying, you know, let's work. If I meet people in person, that's even better, because you meet people, like going to London and being in sessions with people, and you're like, oh, I know who you are. And then just sitting down, having a chat, grab the person's number, send back and forth like that. But it's just the way I like to hold myself, is that the thing that producers don't do enough is that they don't make demand for themselves. Like at the end of the day, I'm never going to reach out to somebody, or I rarely reach out to somebody, because it kind of puts you effectively in like a hierarchy tier. If you're reaching out to work with someone, they can, you know, block you off. But if someone reaches up to you to work, you know, you can do this. So there's that effectively, and the relationship starts off tiered. When you're working with people in person, like in natural environments where you can just meet and, you know, talk about the football on the weekend, it's, you know, your level. And that's how good relationships are formed. You don't ever want to have relationships where it's just so differed. Someone might be super famous and they treat you like, you know, you're just the producer, versus the same artist, got the same fame level, and, you know, looks at you and says, okay, yeah, we're colleagues. We work in the same music industry. It's just like working in, I don't know, an office space. Not really, but, you know, it is level of respect for each other as well. But again, it's just being a human, letting things form naturally. But then again, you do have a lot of people that I want to work with, and I've always looked at as like awesome, but you know, you don't want to start the relationship out as you message them, hey man, let me send loops. Well, you're just another one of like 1,000 people in your request. Because like if you go through your requests and scroll, like I'll see just people and people and people, like hundreds of people going, oh, let me send loops. I don't use loops. If you knew something about me, you'd know that, and you wouldn't ask that.
Exactly.
To be fair, it's kind of hard to get to know somebody, but you know, it's can't work. You know, it's tough. But then again, like, it's important to realize that you're not entitled to anything in the world. You're not entitled to know who I am as a person and how I work. So I guess don't burn bridges, but I don't know. I'm just a bit of a dickhead, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If I'm in person, I couldn't care less if you got 4 platinum records or if you started making beats on FL yesterday. If you're a good person, cool, man. Let's go to the beach for a swim. Something like that. Just, yeah. It's just people skills maybe, but also not. It's just common courtesy.
How do you structure your life? Do you have time blocks, to-do lists, anything like that?
No, I got a notebook. Like I've got normally just to stay excited about things in life and look to what I'm looking forward to. Like I'm going to Europe for 5 months, which I guess we're popping on to the next question to talk about. So right now my notebook says something like 87 days till I go. And so I've just got like 87, 86 written on each page. And I'm just beforehand, I don't know if I'm fucked to do it, just journal like, yeah, day was good, went for a surf, made a couple samples, nice, texted so on. So, anything worth noting to go back and look at where I can have someone tell me later I might have forgotten about, just, very brief journaling. And then just what I got to do for the day. It's like, all right, I got work, being able to tick off a task, I guess, is good physically. Yeah, and if got to send samples to so and so, ticking off a couple tasks, but never really anything more than like not time blocks or Notion. I can't figure out how to get that to work. Just kind of mainly doing things on the fly, but also managing what you need to as minimally as possible. I live around palm trees, so you can kind of guess I'm pretty crazy.
So next question, what is some advice you would give to producers in 2026? What should producers be focusing on now?
Stop being NPCs. Be yourself. Don't be a filler person. Be yourself. Have something to make you stand out from the crowd. Like a lot growing up, I hated the fact that I wasn't like everybody else. And now I get to say here, it's like, well, I'm never going to be like anybody else, but you're never going to be me. That's how you should treat yourself when working, is you've got to be proud about yourself. Be you. Create reasons for people to want to work with you. Bring something to the table, but also, have personality. Be yourself. Be standoutish. That's just you. How I navigate the music industry right now, I genuinely wouldn't even start. Like, it's so cooked. AI is probably going to take our jobs in like a year's time. It already is. It's fucking up the songwriting. Have something that sets you apart, because today anybody can really do anything online. AI, you can do whatever. You've got, like literally anyone can make or do anything online with a phone or a laptop. So have a skill that sets you apart is probably what I would say.
Okay, next question. So what are some gems for traveling as a producer? Resources, apps, like unique, like niche tips you like learned from traveling, like anything?
Again, I sound like a broken record. It comes into being just a regular person, but honestly, traveling's got fucking nothing to do with music. It is its own whole thing. If you want to travel, I'm very fortunate where my parents have been able to take me on holidays quite a lot when I was a kid. So being used to planes and all that stuff is no problem. Passports and going other countries quite normal to me. But it genuinely is as simple as book a plane ticket, have a passport, get travel insurance, and just go. You get on the plane, you wake up and you're in Europe. Or for me, I wake up, I'm in China, I have to wait 18 hours for a layover and then get to Europe, because that's how I afford my flights. So number one is Skyscanner. I talk to people when they're traveling and they're like, oh, I spent $4,000 return flights. Like, this cost me fucking $1,250. Yeah, I had to stay in Guangzhou for 16 hours, but honestly, I had a fun time. Like, I was just walking around and I didn't get to leave the airport complex, but I'm in China. Like, that's fucking sick. And yeah, family I'm very lucky. Anytime I'm in the UK, I pretty much always have got family to stay. I'm from Australia, like majority of my cousins and stuff still live in Europe. So the UK, London, I've got family to stay with outside, but that's just traveling. Like anytime, England is either London or Manchester. Anything at other places, I'm not working. I'm just staying with my family and just kicking back and doing nothing, because traveling for music is different. Like when I went over to London from Barcelona, that was 2 weeks where I didn't do shit other than music. But the trip for 6 weeks I still make a sample or a beat or two every day because I still enjoy doing it. But I wanted to wake up and, you meet people at hostels and you go around and do shit. So like the number one is see where you got family. If you don't, hostel it. Like honestly, like when I went to go see Vibo in Stockholm, I was staying in a 16-bedroom, like bunk bed dorm room in a hostel. 16 people staying in one room. You got to thug it out, really. Stop being a little wuss. But I could afford it, and I got to stay in Stockholm for a couple of days, and it was so much fun. Sick city. Is if you got enough money, it's basically like it's financial literacy. Is spend within your means. Like I'm gonna save up X. I want to have a budget of $500 a week when I go over to Europe, and like that, honestly, I'm going to be fucking struggling because I don't eat a lot, or I do eat a lot, but then I don't eat a lot. But like, I'm fine. Like my main tip, I would walk around Spain and you can buy apples for like 20 cents and you just eat an apple and then you drink a shit ton of water. You're cruising. So it's just traveling is, if you want to do it for music, treat it like a business trip. Research how people make business trips. You know, you go over with your suitcase, you have your whole laptop set up. But like, I just like going to bum ass hostels in random ass cities.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Got a lot of good advice. I'll go through a couple, because I rarely ever hear stuff that's like, whoa. Mostly like a lot of inspirational quotes you just break down. It's like, oh, this is a load of fucking nonsense. When I was it's like I was saying, is being able to relate it to experiences is how things sink in with me. When I was in year 2 at primary school in art class, I forgot what the art teacher's name was, but I was doing a drawing and I fucked up and I wanted a rubber. It's like, an eraser, rub it out so I can redo it. And she goes, no, I'm not giving you one. I'm like, what? Autistic child. What the, it started after myself getting up. And she's like, no, you have to work with what you got. And like, I think, I imagine I was a terrible kid to deal with, but it just clicked. It's like, you don't get to push time back and redo things. It's a lot of things I'd like to redo, but you kind of get one shot at things and you see it through. And I guess just sticking things through when it gets tough. Like before professional, it was making music for such a long time and not really seeing a lot in return, because I wasn't grinding for followers or fucking pixels on a screen. Is you're working into the dark a lot, and it's having life experiences where you can learn to persevere through such times like that, where it's just so much you don't know, was really helpful. And going forward, it's like, man, it took me 4 years so I got my first big break. I can take another 4 years to get another one. Ain't gonna be that long. But yeah, I guess building resilience, and I guess that's just like a type of experience I heard. Don't rub things out, draw over it, work around the problem. Another one was from Solo. He's a legend here, he used to be part of Justice Crew. And I went to a camp up in Brisbane run by Loretta. Absolute legend, one of the best guys I've ever met. And I got up there, was cooking up. I didn't know Solo was part of Justice Crew. Like, if you're in Australia, Justice Crew is fucking huge. And I was just talking to him as another guy, because he's so humble. He's like, oh, I used to be part of this group called Justice Crew. We won Australia's Got Talent. It's like, bro, I loved you in primary school. And I remember this, you'll see how it comes to fruition, but I was just making samples with him. It's like, if you had one piece of advice for me, what would you give me? And he goes, with your samples, segment them up. Like, have them tell a story, but not exactly. Like, don't just have boom, 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 where it's just the same loop. Have piano, saxophone, piano, vocals in a different chopped up type of way. Segment it, but just have it sit in the back of your mind. Don't be a big one. Don't design everything around organization or like, I don't know what the word is, but you know what I mean? Like
the arrangement,
building your loop, arrangement. That's it. Don't focus on the arrangement, but be aware of it. Just add a perk loop there. Change this up here. When you split by channel and FL and you drag them all out, and you've got your 8-bar loop that you're working on, you boom, 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 boom. Be random with it. Just chop shit out. The next loop I made was Professional.
Are you dead ass?
I'm dead serious. Professional is a 2-sided loop. It was the first loop I made, and that was Professional. So the best piece of advice I ever got, I think, was from Solo, who told me that.
Wow.
Honestly, when I went back and I remembered it, it was mind-shattering. So I say that is.
That concludes the interview with Dash. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Once again, you can watch the full uncut interview, link in description for free. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.